I'm here with Pat Hager, head indoor track and field coach here at Houghton College, prepping up for this weekend's Empire 8 Conference Championship. Coach, first talk a little bit about some of the highlights of this indoor season so far.
Yeah, I think the biggest highlight is probably having a full indoor season. It's been since 2020 since we had the full indoor season. But I think, yeah, getting two meets in before December was a big thing for us, just to get into a rhythm. And then coming back, probably one of the big highlights was going to Boston University a few weeks in, getting some of our better athletes a chance to compete at a high level, bank track, get some big personal bests and E8 marks there. Um, on the men's and women's side, we've had three school records in each of the 60, 200, and 300 for both men and women by Malcolm and Amira. So those were definitely highlights. Yeah, so I think up to that point, those are some things that stuck out.
So, who are some of those key returners that have come back and kind of have progressed from previous years? And then we can talk about some of the newcomers that have made their mark.
Sure. Yeah, for the men, we have a great distance crew of Seth Green, Dylan Bell, and Dave Russo, who have all finished very high in previous years in E8s and various events. So those are three that we just sort of have relied on well to do that, and hopefully this weekend we'll continue to. Jack Howard has been an up and coming sprinter over the years. Last year, got on the podium in some events, and so he's running really well. Brendan Lewandowski, is seated high in the high jump and 400 and some other events like that. For the women, Amanda Burrichter, heard that name a lot. She's running as well as she ever has, so she's on fire going into E8s. Rachel Domericki for the women had a great cross country season, was first team all conference there, and so she's looking to place high in the sprint events. Then we have a number of sort of long sprinter girls, Ali Wisniewski, Haley DeJager, Mary Shaker, that are they should be able to get on the podium in a couple events, but they're definitely key contributors for us.
And who you mentioned a couple of those new faces, those records have fallen by first year athletes. Talk a little bit, maybe about Amira and Malcolm and what they brought to the team.
When you have newcomers coming in setting records right away, it's sometimes you just kind of have to get out of their way a little bit. I mean, in terms of training, like you don't want to rewrite the wheel, but you want to give them what they need and kind of let them get into different events and do that. So I mean, it takes a special athlete to get in and break a record right away. So yeah, they've been phenomenal. I mean, they're both kind of quiet, but not in a bad way. Just they kind of go about their business. They do their thing, which is awesome. So I think even as a freshman, when you have someone coming in with big performances like that, everyone else can still look up to that, even as an upperclassman, and sort of like get energy from that. So that's hopefully the biggest thing the team is taken from is getting excited about watching them compete when they take the track and inspiring them to do the same. So
Aside from them, and maybe some of the events they're doing, where are we going to make our mark this weekend? And what are you anticipating for the championships this weekend for both the men and the women?
yeah, yeah. Gosh, I just think our goal is always just get as many people on the podium as we can. All conference champions. I don't do a ton of the statistics in terms of scoring out the meet on paper. How everyone's seeded. It's our goal to sort of exceed our seeds and everything. So I think we're kind of well rounded, to be honest. I think relays are always a big thing for us at E8s. The team brings a lot of energy to those, and I think we'll come out with a few champions, but. The conference is a little deeper this year. So even someone like Amira and Malcolm, I mean, they've got they're high level regional athletes, but they've got some people from Utica, Naz, and Fisher that are sort of right on their tail in some events. So they're gonna have to work for getting an individual championship if they want there.
And who? Yeah, you talk about who are some of those teams that you just continue to have to you're chasing and
Yeah,
really want to.
yeah. Yeah, Fisher, Naz, Utica are kind of the ones that have historically just been ahead of us that we just can't quite seem to. There's some scenarios where maybe our women can can get even with Utica if some things go right. Sage is up and coming. They have a new coach. They've got a few really good athletes on both ends. They're not a huge team, but they've got some high scores. When you have a few athletes that can score in several events, it can be dangerous. So we're keeping an eye on them. But Fisher, Naz, and Utica are the ones historically that we're kind of chasing after in track.
And you guys are going in relatively healthy and peaking at the right time.
Yeah. We rested an athlete or two last weekend. Oh, I didn't even mention. Sorry, Hayden Williamson. I should say it. She's the tied for the first seed in the high jump. So that's definitely a returner who won last year. So sorry about that, Hayden. So we rested a couple athletes last week. So yeah, we're relatively healthy. We should be relatively healthy. I don't think we have anybody that is going to miss out due to injury. Knock on wood. Uh,
And the venue you guys are competing in, how have you typically fared there, and is it a place you guys like to compete?
Yeah, we don't go there a lot regular season just because we have a lot of tracks up here. But I remember I think it was 2019 we were there, and I don't know, like it was a great meet for us. Shelby and Tyler and some of those, Gwen Stokes were there, Matt Kostomski, and we just had a great. We were sort of still up and coming, and we had a great meet there. So when I think of you, that was the last time I was probably there. I think of it. I have really good memories from that meet, and so maybe only the seniors would have actually ever competed there, but it's a really good vibe. They've got the turf right off the track that teams can hang out on and whatnot. So I think it's gonna be good atmosphere for sure.
We're talking about Utica. It'll be at Utica, not hosting it this year. Maybe a couple of years down the road we'll get back to it. No home field advantage, but
Next year, I think. Yeah, we'll
okay.
be back at Houghton next year. So yeah, look forward to that.
All right, Coach. Good luck this weekend, and then transitioning after that to a nice spring break, and then outdoor track. And we'll talk to you.
Yeah.
Talk to you then. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks a lot.